currently doing about 60 properties by myself. Revenues gross is about 4,500 a week. Assuming that I hand off 40 properties to an individual and pay them at 33% of gross, they would earn 990. What are your thoughts on that? And suggestions and guidance going forward if I put that into action?
No, it's a great way of breaking it down to obviously know your numbers. And so like you're running them the math of, okay, if I give someone 40 employees, 40 customers, here's what their gross revenue is going to be. I know I'm going to be giving them 1/3 on P4P. Therefore, this is how much they'll be making. Great math. The only thing you'll want to figure out is it actually feasible for them to do the 40? Right. So do you already have your budget hours calculated for each property?
What I have is the GPS data where I know what the actual time on site is for every individual property.
And is that based upon what you're charging, or is that based upon what you've done in the past?
That is based well, both really. Okay. It's based on what I've actually done in the past. I just take I take the time on site and then I put it in an Excel spreadsheet and then I run that across the year. But then I try to make sure that I'm earning a whatever per man hour. So I adjust at the end of the year for the following year, and I kind of have to look back. You know what I mean? Like in December, I'm looking back at the previous year.
Yep. So two things. What it sounds like to me is you're taking how long the jobs have been taking you, and you're saying, okay, I think I could give 40 of these properties to someone based upon how long it's been taking me, and they could get this done in a week. Therefore, here's what they would earn. Am I hearing you right on that?
You're absolutely right.
Okay. So my concern with that, and I don't think it's wrong necessarily, my only concern is this: by using that method of determining how long the jobs are taking, it assumes that they're going to be working as quickly as you. So what I would do is just be more conservative with how many properties they're going to do. So if you're getting done 50, I think 40 is the right number. What I would also really push you to do is figure out, do you know what your hourly rate is, or at least kind of what your target hourly rate is?
I'm earning, before my price adjustments for this season, which were kind of modest, I was at about 78 a man hour.
Okay. What I would recommend you do is go through all of your jobs that you currently have, all 40 of those customers. And let's just say it's a $60 mo. I would divide that by 80. And that's going to give you 0.75 budgeted hours. And then I would add all those budget hours up. And then I know that conservatively, if you give them 30 budget hours a week, they'll probably be able to get it done in a 40-hour work week. That's a much more, as you scale, because right now you have the most accurate data, and that's how long does the job take. And that's what you're using. The problem is everyone's version of fast or efficient is different. So what you want to do is standardize it using budget hours, and the budget hours should not be based upon how long it's taken you. It should be based upon the price. And then if the budget hours ever are incorrect, then you adjust the budget hours, therefore you adjust the price, right? And so what I would do on these 40 lawns is simply divide all of what you're charging by 80, and that's going to give you how many budget hours for every single lawn. Add those up, and then if it's above 32, you're probably going to be, they're going to start running into overtime if you hire someone else. If it's around 30 to 32, you're probably just fine. They're going to hit 40 hours a week. And so that would become like my barometer. And then you can also just go into P4P and run their time cards and see what they would be making, and actually run it on yourself too.
I'm following on adding up the budgeted hours. I'm assuming the divide by 80 is that's man hour rate.
That's going to give you the number.
I think I have it.
Perfect. That's going to give you the amount of budget hours per job. And then if you add it up for all the jobs you're expecting to give to this employee, because right now we're just doing projections, right? You just got to see, is this projection actually accurate? And the way to do that is figure out whether or not they're going to be able to get these 40 jobs done. And if you add all this up based upon 80 an hour, and now you're like, man, there's 43, 44 budgeted hours, it's going to probably take them 52, 53 hours a week of working hours to get that work done. Because you can generalized 75% is a really good benchmark of efficiency to be able to calculate how fast someone moves. And if you're way off of that, you'll need to adjust your pricing, right? So if you go into this man, I'm getting it done in 30, 40 budget or work hours a week, but someone else is taking 50, it's just because you're working so much faster, right? But I would definitely recommend using budget. Which CRM are you using right now?
Yardbook.
Got it. So I know some people have been putting the budget hours in the title. But it's also a great way that when you do hire someone, you can tell them hey, if you hit budget hours for this week, you're going to make $999, or you're going to make $990. And if you do it in 40 hours, that's $24.75 an hour. That sounds pretty good. And you could literally market that, like make $999 a week. That would be like your pitch for hiring, right? So what I would recommend you doing,
I thought about that. Yeah.
Yeah. What I would recommend doing is, breaking down the numbers like we just talked about, making sure it's in that 30 to 32, 33 budget hours, likely means that they'll be able to get it done in a week. And then I would also do the math on yourself inside of P4Psoftware.com. You can get it for 30 days for free. So even if you're not going to use it, just use it for like a few weeks and run the time cards on yourself and see what you're actually making per hour. And then if you take off about 20%, that's what the employee will probably be able to get done, just because they're going to move slower than you.